This is the story of the old, dilapidated mansion that loomed on the outskirts of a forgotten village, a place where secrets whispered through the walls and riddles hid in the very air you breathe. I first heard whispers of the mansion from the locals, who spoke of it only in hushed tones and with fearful glances. They said it was a place where the dead did not rest, where the living dared not tread, and where the walls held echoes of tormented souls. One moonless night, curiosity got the better of me, and I ventured towards the foreboding mansion. Its windows were shattered, and the paint had long peeled away, leaving the structure in a state of eerie decay. As I crossed the threshold, the air grew heavy, and an unsettling chill seeped into my bones. Inside, the mansion was a maze of forgotten memories and eerie silence. Dust-covered portraits lined the walls, their eyes following my every move, and creaking floorboards echoed with each step I took. I could sense that this place held stories, secrets that had been buried for centuries. My heart raced as I entered a dimly lit room. In the center stood an ornate mirror, its surface tarnished but still reflecting a ghostly image. As I gazed at my own reflection, I couldn't help but feel a presence, an otherworldly force, watching from just beyond the glass. A voice, soft as a whisper, emanated from the mirror. "What do you desire, dear traveler?" Startled, I stuttered, "I seek answers, the secrets this mansion holds." The reflection in the mirror shifted, and a faint smile curled its lips. "Then answer this riddle, and the truth you seek shall be revealed." I nodded, and the voice continued, "I am born of water, but if water touches me, I die. What am I?" My mind raced as I tried to unravel the enigma. "Fire," I replied, my voice trembling. The mirror shimmered with approval, and a rush of frigid air filled the room. It was then that I felt a presence behind me, a phantom whispering, "You've passed the first test." As I turned, a shadowy figure materialized from the darkness, its face obscured by a hood. It introduced itself as the guardian of riddles, a spectral entity bound to the mansion, tasked with protecting its long-buried mysteries. The guardian explained that the mansion was a place of restless souls, each with their own riddle to be solved. The answers to these enigmas held the key to the mansion's darkest secrets, and only those who could decipher them would be granted access to the truth. With a sense of trepidation, I agreed to take on the challenge. The guardian led me through the labyrinthine corridors of the mansion, each room presenting a new puzzle to unravel. The riddles were subtle, their answers not always straightforward, and as I delved deeper, I could feel the mansion's ominous history come to life. In one room, I encountered a portrait of a woman, her eyes following me with a silent plea. The riddle was simple yet unsettling. "I watch, but cannot speak, I see, but have no eyes. What am I?" The answer was clear, a portrait. The room grew colder, and the guardian acknowledged my solution, saying, "You've passed the second test." As we continued, I couldn't help but wonder about the mansion's occupants, the tortured souls whose riddles I was unraveling. What had brought them to this place, and what horrors had they endured in life? In the dim light of another room, a child's laughter echoed, and a riddle adorned the cracked wall. "I'm light as a feather, yet the strongest man can't hold me for much longer than a minute. What am I?" The answer came to me in a whisper, "Breath." The room's atmosphere grew oppressive, and the guardian's voice resonated with approval. "You've passed the third test." With each riddle I solved, the mansion's history became clearer. It was a place of tragedy and despair, where the souls of those who had suffered in life sought redemption through the enigmas they posed. As we reached the heart of the mansion, the guardian presented the final riddle, the most enigmatic of all. "I can travel the world without leaving my corner. What am I?" The answer escaped my lips, a stamp. The room plunged into an eerie silence, and the guardian's form wavered, its face hidden in the depths of its hood. "You've passed the ultimate test." As the last words left the guardian's lips, a ghastly wail pierced the air, echoing through the mansion's haunted halls. It was the cry of the tortured souls, released from their eternal torment. The mansion itself seemed to breathe a sigh of relief, its atmosphere lifting as if a heavy weight had been lifted. The riddles had been solved, the secrets laid bare, and the truth revealed. With a sense of accomplishment and a touch of sadness, I left the mansion behind. The village, now free of its eerie curse, began to flourish, its residents slowly forgetting the horrors of the past. As I walked away from Willowbrook, the moonlight cast an ethereal glow upon the now peaceful village. The townsfolk had returned to their daily lives, their laughter and the sounds of children playing echoing through the streets. It was as if the sinister tales of the mansion were but distant memories, fading like an unsettling dream upon waking. But for me, the memories of that chilling night in the mansion and the riddles that had unraveled its dark secrets lingered like a haunting melody, an enigmatic tune that refused to fade. In the weeks that followed, I couldn't escape the feeling that the guardian of riddles and the tortured souls of the mansion were not mere phantoms of the past. Their presence continued to dwell within me, like shadows waiting to resurface. One restless night, I found myself drawn into a dream that transported me back to the mansion. It was as if I had never left, and I stood once more before the spectral guardian, who spoke with an air of melancholy. "The riddles have been solved, dear traveler, and the mansion is free from its ancient curse. But you, who have unlocked the secrets of this place, are forever bound to its enigmatic legacy." The guardian's words sent a shiver down my spine. I asked, "What do you mean? Why am I bound to this place?" The spectral figure extended a bony hand, pointing to the mirror that had been the source of our first riddle. It beckoned me to gaze into it once more. As I did, I saw my own reflection, but this time, it was not my own eyes that stared back at me. It was the eyes of the guardian, a soulful abyss that held the weight of centuries. The guardian explained, "You have taken on the burden of the mansion's enigmas, and in doing so, you have become a guardian of its secrets, just as I once was. The riddles of Willowbrook are now a part of your very being, and you are forever connected to this place." I awoke with a start, drenched in a cold sweat. The dream had been so vivid, so unsettling, that I couldn't shake the feeling that the mansion's legacy had indeed become a part of me. The riddles, the guardian, and the tortured souls had left their mark on my soul, and I couldn't escape the sense of responsibility that now weighed upon me. Weeks turned into months, and the burden of the mansion's legacy continued to haunt me. The riddles that had once intrigued me now tormented my thoughts, their answers echoing through my mind like a ceaseless whisper. The village of Willowbrook, once a place of darkness and despair, now thrived with life and laughter. But I, the unwitting guardian of its secrets, remained bound to the enigmas that lurked beneath the surface. I became obsessed with solving the riddles that had become a part of my very existence. Each night, I would pore over old texts and manuscripts, seeking to understand the true nature of the mansion's curse. I discovered that the guardian, much like myself, had once been a curious traveler who had ventured into the mansion's depths and had been forever changed by its mysteries. I couldn't help but wonder if the guardian's fate had become my own. Was I destined to remain tied to Willowbrook, to protect its secrets, to unravel its riddles, and to continue the enigmatic legacy that had been passed down from one guardian to the next? The villagers noticed my obsession, and they began to grow wary of my presence. They could sense that the mansion's legacy still clung to me, like a dark cloud that refused to dissipate. One evening, as I wandered the streets of Willowbrook, I overheard a whispered conversation between two villagers. They spoke of a hidden chamber beneath the mansion, a chamber that held the darkest riddle of all, a riddle that had never been solved. I felt a strange compulsion to investigate, as if the mansion itself were calling me back to confront the final enigma. With a lantern in hand, I ventured towards the decrepit mansion once more. As I descended into the depths of the hidden chamber, I felt the presence of the guardian and the tortured souls more strongly than ever. The air grew colder, and the atmosphere thick with anticipation. At the heart of the chamber, I discovered an ancient, ornate mirror, its surface untouched by time. The reflection it cast was not my own, but that of the guardian. The spectral figure materialized before me, its voice laden with sadness. "You have returned, dear traveler, to confront the final riddle, the one that has eluded all who have come before you." The mirror shimmered, and the riddle appeared, etched in the glass. "I am the keeper of secrets, the bearer of truth. I show you the world, both aged and youth. But to unlock my wisdom, you must first dare to reveal the darkest secret, a truth you wouldn't share." The riddle was a reflection of the enigma I had been carrying with me since that fateful night in the mansion. It was a riddle of my own soul, a truth that I had kept hidden, even from myself. With trembling hands, I touched the mirror surface. It rippled like a pond disturbed by a stone, and my reflection began to shift and contort. The room grew colder, and the voice of the guardian whispered, "Dare to reveal your darkest secret." I hesitated, fear coursing through me, but I knew there was no turning back. With a heavy heart, I whispered the truth that I had buried deep within me. "I am the one who released the curse, who unlocked the riddles of Willowbrook." The mirror quivered, and a powerful surge of energy enveloped me. The room seemed to spin, and the spectral guardian, now smiling, whispered, "You have solved the final riddle, dear traveler." With those words, the mansion's legacy released its hold on me, and I felt as though a weight had been lifted from my soul. The guardian's form wavered, then dissipated, and the chamber filled with a blinding light. I awoke in the cemetery of Willowbrook, the morning sun bathing the village in a warm glow. The mansion stood as it had for centuries, but the darkness that had once clung to it had dissipated. I realized that I was free, no longer bound to the enigmatic legacy of the guardian and the tortured souls. The villagers, who had once regarded me with suspicion, now saw me as a harbinger of the town's transformation. Willowbrook had found peace, and its secrets would remain undisturbed for all time. As I walked away from the village, I couldn't help but wonder if the mansion's riddles had been a reflection of my own inner journey, a path of self-discovery that had led me to confront my own darkest secret. And so, my dear listeners, I leave you with this eerie tale, a reminder that sometimes the answers we seek are not found in the enigmas of the world but within ourselves. The riddles of our own souls can be the most unsettling of all, and the truth we uncover may leave us in a state of disquieting shock. As you lay your head down to rest tonight, consider the enigmas that dwell within your own being, the secrets you may have buried deep, and the riddles that you, too, may one day be called upon to solve. Sleep well, my friends, but beware the shadows that linger in the corners of your own soul.